Yo, what's up guys, my name is Trian and welcome back to another video. This is going to be my first commentary on this channel, so I hope you guys enjoy and learn a lot from this video. Alright, so getting into runes, I would just take flat CDR blues because you really need an early game, plus I take Maokai jungle most of the time, so it helps out a lot. Armor yellows because it's what I take on everything and it's just pretty simple. Attack speed reds for early game clearing, plus it helps with your passives to stay alive. And AP coins for some damage. Now getting into Masteries, it's pretty self-explanatory. In top, just take Grass of the Undying, into jungle just take Strength of the Ages, and for support take Bond of Stone. For the rest of the Masteries, I would just go 12, 0, and 18 in top, 0, 12, and 18 in support, and 6, 6, and 18 in the jungle. I'll show the pages on the screen so you can get an idea of what they look like, but they're pretty simple. Alright, now for your item builds. I'm going to go through a few of these, including full AP Maokai, but these will most likely change in the future just because item changes and nerfs and shit. But on Maokai top, I like to start two different things. I normally start Dorans and health pots, but some people go for Corrupting Potion. It's pretty good, but I like to start with the Dorans just because it gives extra AP, you know. For the core, I would go an Iceborne Gauntlet. It's really good because Catalyst isn't too good right now, and it adds a slow for all the CC that Maokai has. So depending on your matchup, I would rush a Glacial Shroud, and then if you need some extra MR or boots or something, then just buy that and then finish off your Iceborne right after. But after that, I would like to buy a Spirit Visage. This item's always good on Maokai because it increases his healing from his passive, plus the HP is always good to have. Next is a Dead Man's Plate, and this item covers your armor needs, plus it makes you really fast with Moby boots, and those are the boots you buy because the speed is always really good. The last two items are pretty optional, but you can either go a Locket, or you can go a Locket and a ZZ Rot, or you can go any item that'll make you extremely tanky, like Warmogs or something that just goes against the enemy team. And this is what the average full build would look like for me. Alright, so for Maokai jungle, I would start a Hunter's Talisman plus a refillable pot, and then on my first back I would have around 1.7k gold, so I'd buy the Hunter's pot from the refillable pot, and then first tier boots and blue smite, and then I would rush a Cinder Hulk and then go for a Spirit Visage and then a Dead Man's Plate, and then after that I would go either Iceborne or Frozen Heart depending on the team, and a Locket or a ZZ Rot. Kind of similar to the top lane, but you could switch those out to any other tanky item you want depending on the enemy team. Now, I see a lot of people taking Green Smite on Maokai. I tried it for a while because I thought it would be good, plus green's my favorite color, but I just didn't like it. I feel like Blue Smite does a lot more damage for you in terms of team fights, peel, and catching ADCs. Also, I would normally go Merc Boots, but Mobies have been extremely helpful because with the Dead Man's Plate, you know, catching ADCs and catching anybody out really is just, it's pretty fucking helpful. Plus Blue Smite helps with that. Okay, now for Maokai support. Support isn't something I go very often on Maokai, so my build probably isn't the greatest, but it seems pretty easy to figure out because I built him similar to Braum, kind of. I go a Relic as a start, and then with the first back on your Sightstone always. I hate seeing supports not take Sightstone. Then rush your Face of the Mountain, Locket, Randuin's, then ZZ Rot. You can switch out the Locket and the ZZ Rot to go super tanky, but Locket helps protect your ADC a bit. But also, if you buy the Locket, you can upgrade your Sightstone to an Eye of the Equinox instead of a Face of the Mountain. And you wouldn't need the Face of the Mountain if you have the Locket, so you could just build really tanky. But also, I'm not sure if the Eye of the Equinox is a good item or not, so don't take my word for that. Alright, now I'm going to go over some of the items you can consider going before I get into full AP Maokai. These items are either situational or were good on Maokai and might see a return in the future. So for boots, I would go Mercs, Ninja Tabi, or Swiftness boots. Now for Mercs, I would buy if the enemy team has a lot of AP or CC. I'd always buy these because they're super helpful, but they're also pretty expensive. Same with Ninja Tabi. You can buy these if the enemy team is full ED and it'll help a lot to survive, but they're really expensive. Now with Boots of Swiftness, I would take these if you want to be super fast. I've never taken them, but I could see why they'd be good. Abyssal Scepter. I see a lot of AP tanks taking this item because it's actually pretty good. It's probably one of my favorite items in the game right now because it gives you AP plus R for you, and basically magic pen for your entire team with its passive. For Runeglaive, I haven't tried this yet, but I really want to. I see a lot of AP tanks taking it in the jungle, and I feel like it would be great on Maokai. For Thornmail, again, if the enemy team is all AD, or if they have an extremely fed ADC or a champion like Tryndamere or something, just take the Thornmail and you'd be pretty good. A Righteous Glory. I love this item for the longest time. I would take it, I would always take it first wherever I would go, because the active is so good. It helps with the whole engage thing, and sadly, it's just not good right now. That's why I take Iceborne instead. For a Sunfire Cape, it's a pretty good item, but personally I wouldn't take it. It's just because you can go tankier items, and the damage isn't too great. I mean, it's basically a Cinder Hulk, but I don't know. It's like a preference kind of thing. For a GA, if you're really ahead, I guess you could take it, but I mean, if you want to stay alive, you could take it, but it's not as tanky as most items are. There's a lot better items you can go. A Warmogs is one of my favorite items. I love having Mundo's ult in an item, and it's super helpful to take in all the damage for your team. Banner of Command is more of a split pushing comp. If you don't have a good team fight or anything, just take that and it's easy run and you'll be good. A Banshees is great if you have a shitload of AP on the enemy team. A Rod of the Ages is more for early game damage and sustain, but I never really find the need for it. Finally, I'm going to talk about full AP Maokai. The starting items are going to be Dorans and Health Pots. The Rush a Rod of the Ages because this is probably the best AP tanky item. And then I would go Rylai's. The slow is really good with Maokai's whole CC kind of thing, plus it gives you HP. Now for the rest of the build, you can literally go any AP item, but it kind of depends on the team. So if you want to go more of a tanky kind of build, then I would take a Rod of the Ages, an Abyssal Scepter, Liandry's, Rylai's, and Azania's. This will give you a lot of AP along with the tank stats you'll need to dive into their team, because Maokai is that kind of champion. If you want to play full Sapling Maokai, then I'd just take a Rod of the Ages, Rylai's, Rabadon's, Void Staff, and then Azania's. Or you can switch to Azania's with Eluden's. It really just depends on the team. Also, the boots are optional. You can either go Sork boots, Merc's Lucidity, or I guess Moby boots. I mean, I guess you can, but it really just depends on the enemy. Full AP Maokai is kind of a unique playstyle, and I would recommend trying it out in custom games and then normals, and then when you finally master it, you can take it in ranked if you truly know what you're doing. The abilities are really simple. If you're going tank, max W second and E third, and if you're going for the full AP Maokai, max E second and W third. There's no need to have your E maxed on tank Maokai, and the reason you don't want to max W second on AP Maokai is because it scales off the enemy's health. Well, that's going to be it for this guide. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to have a few more guides out explaining exactly how to play the different roles of Maokai, and I know I could add it into this video, but I just didn't want to make it too long, especially since this is such a simple video explaining the basics of the item builds and everything. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.